We had one recently, builder you had originally spoken to, who wanted to go hard in on AI. So did you want to share a bit about that one first?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this is a common, I guess, misunderstanding of this whole AI boom, right? So most people don't understand like this whole AGI space, which is like artificial general intelligence, and when that will actually be realistic. People are already jumping to that conclusion that we're already there. We're not even close. Some people in the ecosystem are saying it's 3 years away. Some saying it's five. Some saying it's 7 or 10. Some people are saying it's never going to happen. It will happen at some point in time, maybe in 20 or 30 years. But because right now humans are driving AI is not driving humans. And so when you go, I want AI in my business, you just automatically assume that means, well, that's what a lot of people think. They assume it's just magically going to happen, right? And so that's not the case because, well, I guess why is this not the case? It's because the technology is not developed for that purpose just yet. So this particular builder we're discussing, and this is common across every industry, but we're heavily in the construction manufacturing space, is you need to drive the outcomes of what you want AI to be. And what I mean by drive the outcomes, you really need to understand uh, what you currently do today, how you want AI to play a role in that space. Where does a human get into the ecosystem, and then what is the final outcome? Now, for this particular builder we're discussing, and this is very common, a lot of information still sits in people's heads. Now, AI just magically can't suck that information out of your head and then just go, hey, surprise, it's here. And we don't have Neuralink just yet, right? And so because we don't have Neuralink,
Oh,
we don't,
thank goodness.
and we can't just put a chip in our brain just yet. So the first thing you have to do is really understand why you're trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve, and essentially download your entire brain, the processes you go through, how you interact with customers, how you deliver projects, everything that you currently do. You need to like literally do a massive big download. Once you do that, then you go, great, where can AI play a role in this space?
And I see, like, we were talking about when AI, and I think at one point you had said, oh, if they're not doing it in 3 years or 3 months or whatever the figure was, they were going to be in trouble. And I said, look, I've got guys that are still using carbon paper. So pretty sure they're going to be okay for a bit longer. But the bigger players in the market who do want to actually take advantage of the meta glasses, etc., that is a realistic thing. And when you were saying like the download from my brain, that's very much the part I play because I spend the time with them in that space. Like I say, similar thing to him. I said, Claude doesn't lie on the pillow next to you at night and just like tap into your dreams. It doesn't. We have to do that ourselves, and we have to plan out the operating procedures, the workflows, all of those things, and see where the problems are and fix them first. Because otherwise, and correct me if I'm wrong, but otherwise AI will just make it a faster mess.
Yep, yeah, chaos is just chaos on steroids when it comes to AI. And so I like that analogy around the pillow because I've literally seen a startup in the US come out with a device that they're looking at putting other people's pillows to try and collate all the data when we're dreaming. Anyway, it's a whole different conversation. Yeah, so 100% right, and this is why you play a massive role in this space, Joe, because you need to get you need to download everything out of these people's minds. You need to document it. You need to create all the processes around how you actually want to deliver a certain item or a certain concept or deliver a certain project in a certain way. If you don't do that, AI it'll hallucinate and it will just make up what it thinks it's the best approach, right? Because we as humans are driving AI. AI is not driving us. So yeah, it's a massive misconception still today.
And I even see this with, well, like, some of my guys don't even have admin yet. So when I get started with them, the first thing we do is put a VA or an EA in their company. And same with, like you're saying with AI, if it will hallucinate, well, a staff member will hallucinate. If you don't have guardrails, they will just go over there somewhere and start doing it. And then 3 months later, because the business owner's too busy doing what he does, which is something in the construction and manufacturing space, because we play in the same kind of way, the company all of a sudden is over there and they're unaware because they've gone out and working on the tools. So everything needs those really tight guardrails to make sure that the business flows the way the owner wants it. And I guess I see the other side of it is that half the time the business owner doesn't even know what that is yet. So how can, when you work with people, how do you get them to that place where they're I guess, very certain about what they want to do with their business and set those parameters.
There's probably two conversations there. If they exactly know how they want it to be, perfect. You just go like put your tunnel vision on, go all in on that direction. Say, great, we'll build out the AI automation to based on how you want things to happen. That's probably 1 out of 20 businesses that we
Yeah.
work with. 19, and the other 19 is like, we know we want it, but we don't know where to start, and so that's when you got to figure out where to start. I guess we're just fortunate that we've got so much experience in the space. We've done hundreds of projects in the construction space now, where we can walk into, say, a builder or a sparker or a plumber or a civil construction company, whatever it might be, and go, hey, based in your industry, your ecosystem, and how these things currently operate and work, this is what we've solved for others. Would you like this? Like, it makes it so easy because when you don't know what you don't know and you don't know what you want, you don't know where to start. So you kind of just like got to guide them in that direction as a starting point. So then they know, okay, great, yeah, that makes sense. So I always say, well, like, what is your biggest frustration? What's holding you back? What's keeping you up at night? And if that was solved next week, how would that make you feel, right? And so usually in this space, it's sales, it's estimating, it's tender writing, it's report writing, it's all the most boring things that no one really wants to do in the ecosystem. And then you jump over to like contract and contract administration and progress claims and all the invoicing preparation.
So, if say you were going to work with like an electrical company, do you have they need to be at a certain level? They need to have a certain amount of staff? Do you work like what is your scope for these people?
There's probably two things. One is mindset. They have to be wanting and willing to change, not just embrace AI, change. As in, whatever they do today, in 3 months from now, they won't be doing. So, a very typical scenario. Yeah, exactly. A very typical scenario in, say, in the Sparky space is timesheets. It's the number one thing we hear all the time, which is very frustrating for a lot of business owners, is we're not invoicing for the equipment that we use on site. We're not invoicing for the materials. The timesheets are not coming in accurately. We're chasing our staff members on a weekly or monthly basis to get our timesheets in. That's annoying. It's frustrating, but everyone has the exact same problem, right? And so we just automate it. We know where people are. Everyone's got a phone. They're usually driving around. So we got vehicle tracking. We got iPhone or Android tracking. We can clock in, clock out. From a timesheeting point of view, they physically go on site. We know where they're going, how long they're there, when they start, when they leave. They then use their phone and have a conversation with AI when they're leaving, so they're not calling the office. They say, "Yeah, I've just left this site. I've just used XYZ material. I'm now heading to the next site." Just have that genuine, nice, human-like conversation. That'll then get sucked in, pulled into their CRM, their database, and then they move on to the next one. You're not chasing people for invoicing purposes. Like really simple things like this that a lot of these organizations are just still not doing because they're doing paper, manual.
And even if they do have something like a ServiceMate or a Tradeify or a SimPro, they're not using that in the program anyway because no disrespect, but it's and I use a hammer. You're now handing me a computer. Why should I do that? So there is a little bit of, like you said, mindset shift around things. Actually, they have to change for the owner, but then that has to trickle down to the staff. And the staff have to actually implement what the owner is wanting to change.
That's right. Yeah.